As I said in the beginning, one thing that is out there is what's called the Nordic model, and this is a model that was developed by Sweden in 1999, is still in place, is being reproduced in other places around the world, and it essentially fines not the seller of the sexual service, but the purchaser. It actually was called a purchaser law by Sweden in the beginning. I want to examine what we know about the impact of that law, and I'll start with you, Yasmin. I am assuming that you're in favor of the Swedish model, or sometimes called the Nordic model.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have seen tremendous success, not only in terms of its intended effects, which was to dramatically shrink the sex trade, but also to change the culture and the attitudes towards the sex trade, and also improve gender equality. So since that law was implemented in Sweden, prostitution dropped 40%. It's remained at a significantly lower level. The number of men purchasing sex dropped from over 13% to roughly around 7%. People in the country overwhelmingly support the law. It's now no longer socially acceptable to buy sex, objectify women, go to strip clubs. And then Norway has also adopted the law. It's decreased prostitution significantly, as well as the indoor market has shrunk significantly, reduced human trafficking. And France, being one of the latest countries to adopt this model, has seen tremendous success. So in the 7 years since France adopted the model, no prostituted person has been arrested in the last 7 years, as compared to 2,500 arrests per year since before the law. As of January 2023, over 1,200 prostituted people have benefited from one of the over 564 exit programs throughout the country, and 95% have achieved stable employment. The number of criminal prosecutions for traffickers and exploiters has gone up 54%, and they've collected over 2.35 million euros from exploiters. They've arrested over 7,000 buyers, but penalized them.
I'm just going to jump in, Yasmin, so to give Kaytlin a chance to respond to some of what you were saying there. And Kaytlin, the what jumped out at me in terms, I know that you've already made the argument that you don't think less sex work is necessarily a good in itself, but you are an advocate for women's rights. And one of the outcomes that Yasmin was just citing was higher employment of a non-sex work kind for women in these countries, and there were other statistics as well. So, what's your assessment of the Nordic model in terms of its benefit for women in places where it's in place?
Sure. Everywhere that these policies have been implemented, violence against sex workers goes up, because policies that criminalize paying for and facilitating sexual services hurt the people that they claim to help. Because the real goal of this law is to eliminate prostitution, and you simply cannot help people that you are trying to eradicate. Everywhere that these laws are implemented, our ability to advocate for safer sex, higher rates, and better working conditions goes down, because end-demand laws push the entire industry further underground, forcing people to do more for less and making it harder for us to identify abusers, all while doing nothing to alleviate poverty or gender-based violence. End-demand laws make purchasing our services a crime, but they also make it illegal to work with or for other people. So these laws not only take away our livelihood, but they also undermine the strategies that we use to keep ourselves safe. And also, I understand that it might be difficult for listeners to understand that when so-called pimps and johns are criminalized, that means that our clients, our landlords, our roommates, and our colleagues, including other sex workers, are also criminalized.